Films have been a source of inspiration since their creation. From composition to transitions, costumes, setting, story, there's something for everybody to find inspiring in a film. So today I wanted to share some of my favorite films that inspire me personally. I was very fortunate growing up to have parents who made me watch movies that they personally loved, so I got to grow up watching a lot of beloved classics. However, because there are just so many films, some fell through the cracks. One of those being The Truman Show. The Truman Show is a movie that I didn't watch until I was an adult. It was actually a couple years ago where I finally watched it for the first time. And I adore this film, not only for its very charming story that tackles commercialism and sensationalism, but also it has that striking 90s surrealism that the 90s could truly only achieve. The ending scene where he's going up the steps, it was just such a striking image to me that it really just struck a chord and just lives rent-free in my brain. There are also just so many fun camera angles throughout the film to go along with the whole hidden camera theme in the story. And because it also has that 90s charm to it, there's just a lot of fun with lens focal length that just gives it that true 90s charm. Apart from its amazing camera work that I adore, there's something so spectacular about the setting. With Truman being trapped in this suburban town and it also being a set, there's this perfection given to the town. But because we know that it's all make-believe, there's this subtle shadow of uncanny that's sinister in the way that everything in the town is just a little too perfect. It's too manufactured, and it really creates that sense of unease as you get to know Truman and you worry about him. It's just brilliant execution. And for those reasons, I just love The Truman Show, and it's a fun film to watch on its own, but also there's just so many wonderful takeaways. I am someone who craves whimsical in my life. I want my work and I want my life to just have that little touch of whimsy to make the mundane special. And a film that inspires me to have this mindset is Amelie. Amelie is a French film that, admittedly, after I watched it the first time, it took a while for me to fully digest it and appreciate it for everything that this film is. It's a beautiful love story, but that is just cracking the surface. There is so much depth to this film, from Amelie's character and how she just makes every little mundane task in life something special, something magical, something that is meaningful to her and to other characters around her. It's something that is truly inspiring, not only from an artistic point of view, but also just personal and emotional. And there's so much warmth through this film, from its color grading and the color contrast to just the camera angles that are very close and personal at times. And there's so much beauty throughout the film. Not only do you have the stunning Paris cityscape, but you also just have these beautifully composed scenes. Every little detail is so intentional. The love story in the film is so quirky and unusual, but there are also so many charming little side stories that just really give this film a whimsical, silly nature that I just adore so much. I don't have a good segue into this next film, but 2001: A Space Odyssey. 2001: A Space Odyssey really needs no special introduction because it is such a highly acclaimed film, and for good reason. It won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects when it came out, and it is entirely justified. This movie is so beautiful, and it's weird to say that about a sci-fi film because most of the time when you think sci-fi, I don't think beautiful is the word that comes to our minds, but every single shot in this film I would frame and put on my wall. Everything is so thought out and intentional and mindful, and it really just pulls the whole film together. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I understand the deeper meaning to 2001: A Space Odyssey, because that ending was such a doozy of a trip that I don't really at this time have thoughts about what the heck was going on, but it didn't take away from the enjoyment of the film. It's a very quiet film. There is so much tension created from the silence. There's not a whole lot of dialogue for this movie that's 2.5 hours long, but it's something that I appreciate about the film. Because whenever there is dialogue, you really want to pay attention. And whenever there is sound, it's very impactful. And when it's dead silent, but there's a lot going on, it's just that juxtaposition that just creates the perfect amount of tension. I am also very fond of the set design. I adored the leading lines that are present in the space station areas, and the clever camera work to create these very much space zero gravity effects is just so much fun for, again, a movie that's so quiet and honestly doesn't have a lot of busyness going on, but every shot from the way that the actors move within the frame is just so on point. It has such a attention to detail that is something that I just want to take an ounce of to be able to apply to my own work, be it video or photo. Now, not every film that inspires me is live action. In fact, I have a deep love and appreciation for animation. I have always loved animation ever since I was little, and whenever I was a teenager and all of my friends started to watch live action shows, I very much just stuck in the animation field of entertainment. So it's no surprise that I draw a lot of inspiration from Studio Ghibli films, and I could sit here and list so many that I love, but I really want to touch on Kiki's Delivery Service today. Not only for its inspirational message about having creative burnout and needing to take a break from it in order to find your spark again, but also for its charming visuals. There's so much warmth throughout this film. Miyazaki is such a talented artist in creating his worlds and the world building that he's able to achieve in just a short amount of time. And there's nothing overtly fantastical about the world of Kiki's Delivery Service. Yes, it is a story about a young witch and her coming of age, but aside from that, there's not a whole lot of anything fantastical, but it doesn't take away from the film. The charming little seaside town inspired by Stockholm and Visby, Sweden, is a town that I would love to live in. I wish that I could go to the places that inspired these artists so I could take photos there, because there's just so much beautiful detail in the architecture and the colors, and it's very inspiring in that regard. There's also so many other charming locations like the bakery and Ursula's cabin that are just so impactful to the story and also just create different layers for the setting of the story. The bakery is adorable and small and warm compared to the bustling city, and Ursula's cabin is just a quiet little nook for Kiki to get away. And there are so many charming characters, from the old women to the teenagers, and it's just so wonderful and inspirational. I love it from a world building perspective, from a visual perspective, and it just makes my heart feel so warm. Studio Ghibli is also just known for its stunning visuals, for the little details, and I love to focus on the little details in my own work. And there's so much, even though that this is a hand-drawn animation medium, there's still so much that I could pull from the composition to the just little attention to details and close-ups that I could apply to my own work. So, those are just a few of the films that inspire me that I just wanted to share with and gush about with you today. I absolutely love talking about movies. So, if you have any films that personally inspire you, I would love to hear them. I'm currently making my way through my watch list, so I need to add some more movies to that. So, if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them down below. But that is all the time that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed. If you are new and would like to see more of my face, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, all that jazz. And I hope you have a super lovely day. I will see you next time. Bye.